Hey everybody, welcome back to our little show.
The Ed and Chris show.
The Ed and Chris show.
Next week we're going to sell you a car.
Yep. It's got just a few 100,000 miles. It doesn't have wheels or a motor, but
Only been wrecked three times.
Yeah. We are here to talk about wine as per usual, and we've been doing this virtual wine tasting now for a couple months. I know there's several people out there that are taking advantage of it and enjoying it. We actually had two of these last week because of the Dee Marie virtual tasting we had on Saturday, and that was a huge success.
Huge.
I want to thank everybody that was involved in that. And of course, our Thursday tasting that we normally do was a packed house. 2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. And so we got past that July 4th kind of lull, and now we're fully in.
Back to drinking.
Back to drinking and socializing. So, of course, at a safe distance.
Always.
We're very aware of our situations, and that's why we're doing this video, so that those of you that don't feel quite comfortable making it out to our restaurant at 6 o'clock on Thursday nights to taste, well, you can taste it your home with Chef Chris's food pairings, and you get to do it from the probably from the couch. I'm guessing people are on the couch.
Maybe the porch.
The recliner.
The recliner.
The porch, yeah.
Maybe.
It's a little hot though.
You get the fan on. It's kind of nice. I love being outside of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Be stuck inside all day. I don't care if it's hot.
True.
Feels good to be outside.
We had a couple people come in for lunch, and I said, "Hey, would you like to eat indoors or out?" And they said, "Indoors. We're roofers. The last thing we want to do is be outdoors."
No, that's fair.
But we're in indoors all day, so we do appreciate the outdoors, and we appreciate those river floats too.
Well, we skipped a week, but now we were going to remedy that this Sunday, so we'll get back on our floating schedule.
And this was selected so that you could easily open it. Don't need a wine tool. Twist off.
It looks like a good river wine.
Yes, absolutely. So
Thank you.
we're going to start off today with a beautiful Italian red, and one that is quite affordable to say the least. Now this is Fontini. It's going to be a little bit hard to read, but this is, and it's probably backwards because this is a selfie screen, but it might not be. We can always invert it. Yeah, I'll just hold up a mirror to it. So this is Fontini is a brand or a winery that we've had on the menu for, well, basically since I've been here. And they do Italian varietals. Well, they are in Italy, and they do indigenous grapes only, but they do them in a very modern or new world style. So this is not typical, I would say. Most of your old world wineries are trying to maintain that old world style of winemaking and flavor profiles, and kudos to them for being kind of stepping outside that. You don't have to be anything other than yourself as a winemaker, and they're doing it, and they're doing it very, very well. Almost 1,000 acres of vines that they have, so they are producing quite a bit of wine. Abruzzo is, if you don't know, it's kind of like it's near the Adriatic Sea. It's kind of, if you look at the boot of Italy, you're going to be looking kind of towards where the calf muscle is where this would be located. And there's quite a bit of altitude there. These are probably, I would say, probably at least these vineyards are probably about 1,000 feet above sea level. So, that's the interesting thing about the Italy geography there is the fact that it's pretty skinny, but it has tall mountains running right down the middle, or the spine they call it. And so you've got coast and mountains so close to one another, and it's Mediterranean style weather. So these mountains really do help keep the grapes temperate, cooler at night, so they'll have a little bit more structure. So the grape here is Montepulciano from the producer Fontini, and not only do they make modern styles, they make very affordable styles. And for the person that likes to drink wine every single day, this would be a great wine for you because it's affordable. It doesn't break the bank. So what do you think, Chef? What are your initial thoughts?
You can taste the sun in this.
Yeah,
You
sure.
really can. A big difference on these Mediterranean styles. What I love about these is how much they change too, because the first, you get all the fruit at the beginning, but usually after a sip or two, the tannins come out and it becomes more rounded. But the first one, the first sip, you can get a pretty good taste of where we're coming from.
That's right.
Although I would say I don't really like how it doesn't seem right. Could you say the name of the wine again? This part.
Montepulciano.
See, I don't think you're putting enough in. It's like when I hear that, I Montepulciano. I just feel like you need a little more.
Yeah, you got
more oomph on that. But
forget about it.
So
Yeah. Well, this is a great grape. It's kind of unheralded. I think I don't think it gets enough credit. It is a juicy grape. It's going to give you lots of fruit. I'm certainly getting a lot of fig, plum, and like you said,
sure.
like very roasted flavors here. And there's great acidity here, which I really like. The acidity really lightens this up. It makes it food friendly, of course. We're always talking about food friendly wines. Acidity is where it's at when it comes to that. And there is a nice, subtle, fine tannin at the end. So this is a dry wine, and because of that tannin there would go great with so many things. Just leaving you wanting more. The little dryness makes you want more.
it really does, and you're spot on about the acid as usual, because this could easily go raisiny, from the start, but that tannin, that acid just brings it right back quickly. That's on the fruit's on the front, and the sun fruit is on the front, and it just pulls it right back in. It's delicious.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to get a little bit of earthy. It's very subtle here, very subtle on the earth. It's not typical of Italian wines. It is far more New World, just as they claim to be. It's going to be more fruit-centric and fruit-forward, but not in a negative way, because that structure of the acid and the tannins really balances us out. So kind of getting a little bit of the best of both worlds. An Italian varietal, but it's something that's not necessarily going to need food. It'll go great with food, but there's a lot of great Italian wines that, let's face it, they need food.
They need food.
They need food, and you're not eating all the time, but you are drinking all the time.
Well, I'll let the Italians hear you say that. Someone put a plate of food in front of you.
That's true. So if you're thinking about a red wine that's kind of juicy, but yet has complexity to it enough to keep you coming back for more, this would be a great grape for you. Montepulciano from
Montepulciano!
What he said. And Chef, what do you have paired with this for this week?
Well, we've got a great pairing with this. To me, like you were, just to kind of pick up on what you were saying, I think this is, I could see myself pouring this first, getting home from work, if you're not, but what a great snacky wine, too.
Yeah.
Even
Cheese.
if you're not like,
Meats.
this is our dinner wine, be great with your grazing snacks in the afternoons or mid-afternoon, maybe on the weekend, and you're kind of in between meals, but you're feeling snacky.
Yeah, I get
this would be a great wine for that, because it would be generous with almost anything you have with it.
I would agree, absolutely.
So we've got a great little dish for you. We're got a little twist on a southern favorite. We've got a deviled egg. But with this, we're going to have some chorizo and some jumbo lump crab meat. How exciting. We've got chorizo from our friends at Darcy Farms. So render this off, mix it with the egg yolks, eggs from Kai's Hens, right down the road in Pinnacle.
He's due here any moment with some more eggs.
Any minute now, so we'll have to...
that's how fresh they are.
That's every week.
Yep.
Here he comes in the door.
Yep.
It's fabulous. We don't ever take that for granted. So anyway, we're going to build these deviled eggs with the rendered chorizo. We're going to top it with some jumbo lump crab meat. Got some great Dijon mustard in there, a little bit of mayonnaise. It's going to be wonderful. I think we're going to get a little bit of both. Obviously, the chorizo with the red is going to be great, but the brininess of the crab with the acid on this one, I think it's going to work.
And that's another great thing. Here you have a red that would love some seafood. You don't have to be afraid to have red wine and seafood together. if it's the right weight and the right structure. And because this is bright and yet kind of light on its feet as far as when you see this in the glass, you're thinking it's going to be pretty rich. It's rich in flavor, but not rich in weight. And I think that you could safely say this would be great with lots of different seafood.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it is a light mouthfeel. It doesn't lack for flavor, but the mouthfeel is light. I mean, even, I know a lot of times we like the fatty salmon likes a Pinot and like some of these softer reds.
Yeah.
You'd have no trouble at all putting some salmon with this. I mean, even some whitefish, depending on your accompaniment.
That's
Certainly scallops.
Oh yeah,
Scallops,
those
salmon.
caramelized scallops. Yeah.
Delicious with this. So I mean, I would certainly would not have any hesitation with pairing this with that.
This is a little bit too easy. I'm going to destroy that bottle if I don't watch out.
Well, if you heard what it said about you,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have waited so long.
That is gonna be. We're gonna sell a bunch of that. I got a feeling that's very, very delicious.
I would tend to agree. I think smart money's on you for that.
I would also like to say that that's one of those, you hear me say, a summertime red, because even in the heat of the day, you can still manage it.
Stay hydrated. Get a glass of water in between.
Yeah.
But then go straight to
Between
the
each
Montepulciano.
between each bottle, have a glass of water.
Yes,
That's safe, right?
it is safe, especially in the morning.
Goes great with ibuprofen.
Ibuprofen, coffee, and Montepulciano. I would just buy a bunch of this just so I could just say that over and over.
Oh yeah,
How's your Montepulciano?
your family's gonna hate you
More.
so. I guess. So we're gonna move from Italy
Thank you.
to the Southern Rhone. We were talking about our
Not too far on the trip.
no, not far at all. We talk a lot about Côte d'Aron's here, and we've done a lot of those, and we always mention that there's a lot of great regions in that area, but we have failed to talk about in those areas. So we're going to start doing that since we love GSM so much. Let's talk about this region and let's go.
We're tired of failing.
Yeah. So Vaccaras is the region here, and this is wedged between Gigondas and Châteauneuf-du-Pape, two of the most expensive and prestigious
What a
wines.
great place to be wedged against.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
In between, rather.
yeah, exactly. Like you got great wine to the left and to the right. Yeah. So this is actually about 60% Grenache and about 30% Syrah and only about 10% Mourvedre, but there are no other grapes added. So I think when we were talking Côte d'Aron's recently, there was quite a bit of Cinsault or Cinsault, and we were talking about how other varietals can be kind of integrated in there, but GSM is always the determining main factor of why it tastes what it tastes like and why it has the structure it has. But this is just a pure GSM. Vaccaras it's a special little region that not too many people are familiar with, but it's, in my opinion, it is a step up from Côte d'Aron, and it's not a big step up in price. So
Music to our ears.
yeah, so you can throw in a couple extra bucks instead of having a Côte d'Aron. There's nothing wrong with Côte d'Aron, don't get me wrong. We love them, we drink them, we drink a lot of them. But sometimes you want something just a little bit more elevated without going to Châteauneuf-du-Pape or Gigondas. Vaccaras is your place. We talked about Ventoux, also another great region. We'll try to touch base there as well, and Larocque.
Very underrated region.
Yeah, I would love to do. When we get into some cooler weather, we'll get into a Larocque, which is a very dark and intense GSM. So let's talk about this one, Sheffy. Wow, big nose.
Woo.
And
Boy,
this will shock you. This is a 14.5% alcohol. I bet
It doesn't smell like
I bet.
You know how a wine can smell hot.
Oh yeah.
And
No, this is very integrated.
14, upper 14s, 15s, usually smell hot right out of the bottle. This does not.
Now this smells old world.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is old world all day. Tons of earth.
Cherry.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was the first thing my first impression. Long finish.
Yep. And there's plenty of mushroom in here too. Mm. This is
very
a
nice.
complex one. We like that. We like something. This is something you can think about, but it's also not so over the top. You can't just enjoy. And again, we're talking about, you know, wine under $25. It's certainly affordable, but it also makes you pause and think about it. It's the best of both worlds. You have essentially maybe not what you'd consider a budget wine, but it's certainly a very reasonably priced wine. But it also gives you complexities, the things that you want to kind of ruminate on, but from a price point that you don't typically get that.
This is very polished.
Yes.
It's a very polished one.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I noticed we've got the raised crest here.
Mm. Yes.
Another sign of
yeah.
great things.
Yeah, they've spent some money on this bottle, I'm going to tell you that. And wow, the tannins are so integrated. You know, like when you were talking at the beginning about how, you know, that first sip gives you one thing, the second sip kind of evolves. This is certainly.
This was changing faster than the Montepulciano.
Yeah, the tannins are all over every square centimeter of my tongue has tannins on it, completely coated, but not like
Not
in
suppressive. No.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't block any of the other flavors. Sometimes tannins can really get out in front of all the things the winemaker wants you to taste, but the tannins have just made that impossible. When I was saying polished, you still get, in my opinion, without knowing the winemaker, I feel like you're able to taste everything he or she would want you to. But the polishedness of it is the balance. I mean, you get the fruit, you get the tannins, you get the acid, and you get multiple layers of fruit. I mean, it's just, I'm impressed.
Yes, and
Very impressed.
There's a distinct, when I look at quality wines, I think there's the initial flavor, the mid palate, and then the finish. And all three of these are point on. They're three distinct flavors that or experiences that you're having through the taste. And to me, that's the sign of a quality wine. And wow,
That's outstanding.
the
finish. I mean, it's just fluffy.
Keeps going and going and going.
Is fluffy a good word?
Sure, we're going to use it today.
Because leaves a lot of fluffiness well after the sip.
Hmm.
Sometimes the runaway tannins almost feels like cotton now.
Sure, yeah.
But this is fluffy without the
I
aggressive.
totally understand what you're saying. They might think we're crazy, but
They wouldn't be the
that's
first
okay.
ones.
Yeah, they probably thought we're crazy before.
We
this
should be
video.
used to that by now.
Mhm. So, what you got in store for the food for this one?
Well, a very polished wine deserves a very polished accompaniment. So I was able to find a great buy this week on prime ribeyes. Now this is not, as we were talking before we started, not prime rib, but a ribeye that's been graded prime. So you have select, you have choice, you have prime. Prime being the top of the heap.
And
really
there's very few, I think less than 1%.
less than 1% of all beef.
You don't see it very often in the stores for certainly.
And when you do, yeah,
You're gonna pay.
You're paying for it. And not that I disagree with that, but if you just want a couple of steaks,
Yeah.
you may not want to go down that road. But how weird, a few months ago we couldn't find beef. Now they're doing sales on prime.
Right, yeah.
So the food chain rebounded quickly. But this is going to be really excellent. And the way they do this is a couple of measures. First and foremost is the marbling. And so you're looking at the marbling of the steak. The marbling, of course, fat equals flavor. So the leaner the meat, the technically tougher than meat. There's certainly ways around that. But just as a general rule, the fattier, and there's two different kinds of fat. We're not talking about silver skin here. We're talking about the good fat that's interspersed in the meat, which when it cooks, flavors and tenderizes the beef. But you can get around that with everything. Certainly the mark of a great cook is not going around buying prime everything. It's, but sometimes our job's to get out of the way.
Yeah, and with a prime cut of meat, chef, you can just kind of just deliver it and enjoy that experience and appreciating the almost primal aspect of it.
Absolutely, and it's just such a treat. We're going to get such a buttery flavor out of this meat naturally without an accelerant or adding anything to it, and I think that's really what we're in agreement here. Our job isn't always to run over something. Sometimes you just want to source something and just stand back and get out of its way, just a little bit of salt and watch her go.
Mm-hmm.
But we are going to add a few delicious local mushrooms from Borrowed Land Farm just to accompany this, because every great piece of meat deserves a great mushroom, in my opinion.
That is funny that you say that. So my girlfriend Lisa and I were out hiking, and I found some chanterelles, and I was very excited about these chanterelles, so much that I got up early, clearly not early enough, because I was late for work, but I got up early to go back and try to find some more. And when I discovered that, they weren't exactly where I thought they were, and I had to kind of venture off, I got a little bit off trail, and hence I was late. But I did find some, and when I was, kind of running back to the car with my backpack full of mushrooms, or not full, but I had some in there.
You had a stash.
I just kept thinking about how am I going to prepare them. I was like, I had soups going through my mind, pâtés going through my mind, and the number one thing though is with steak, and I was thinking, this is like over the top, because there's each one is great by themselves, and a lot of they're standalone. And I was thinking, well, am I just being like, I don't know, is that too much to have two great things?
No. You put champagne with caviar, don't you?
That's a good point. Good point. But yes, I will be having steak with my chanterelles, and it's going to be lovely.
Then they deserve each other.
They do.
They're
the best of the best.
They deserve each other, absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with a little indulgence. When was the last time you foraged a mushroom?
It's been a couple of years, yeah.
So
I don't do that on the regular.
So I think it's deserving of a
But it's been a beautiful year for mushrooms in North Carolina.
Boy, has it.
And
the morels in the spring, and now
we're
we're at the end of the chanterelles, but they're still there.
I was surprised that they were still kicking.
They're still out there, and they're just really in different spots. And a couple of the foragers I spoke to this week, it's not so much that they're dying down, they're just changing,
They're moving around.
You could say, what I've also been told by several people is that these aren't pop-ups of clusters of chanterelles, but if you were to actually dig the earth, there are just huge networks of them that they're all interconnected. So you could pick some chanterelles here, and half a mile away where they're popping up are part of the exact same strain. And mushrooms are fascinating how they've created these little subterranean worlds and can expand and grow and live for so long. But really we're at the end of that, going into chicken of the woods, hen of the woods are coming up now.
I was hoping to find some of those.
So that's next. We had some last week. We didn't have the chef's table last week, but we did manage to move those into some of the specialty things that we did here. But except in the dead of winter, we all have something to look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's and Chef's Table has been very, very popular. You were probably okay with not having one weekend of it to catch your breath a little bit?
Selfishly, yes. Obviously, we want to do one all the time because it's great for the winery. It's great for everything, and certainly that's fun. But also good to take a week here and there to kind of recharge. I think they're better after. I think we've done 3 or 4 weeks in a row of Chef's Tables, which, then not to have one, it's kind of nice. You get to reset, get to clear your head and do some of the other things that are important too that need attention. one of the problems with the chef's table, for you and I with our jobs is, we have a lot of responsibilities, and the chef's table can be a tad overwhelming. It asks.
Oh,
It asks a
it's
lot of you,
heavyweight.
and it pulls so much time and resources. So it's nice to have a reset and allocate more time to some of our day-to-day stuff. And so everybody benefits.
And by the way, I booked 2 more today. Just so you know. There won't be many more breaks in that department. So if anybody out there wants to do a chef's table,
Come see us.
you better call.
And we have just so much great stuff right now. Boy, what a haul we had this morning.
Yeah.
Gorgeous tomatoes and peaches and blackberries, salt and pepper cucumbers. Marjorie will be here later today with Minglewood.
Of course,
Garland's coming.
Kaizens.
Kai's
Our
here
eggs we
today,
talked about.
and we had Jamie from Roma Ready already. We've had Mohill Farms. Kate at Hedge Farm brought us a bunch of beautiful stuff, and coming back again Friday. It's never ending here. Inland came today with tons of. We got in brisket for our family meals from Brasstown. Beautiful tile fish, steelhead salmon, just more
Yeah.
caviar coming this weekend for the chef's table.
Yeah, we're doing family meals. We had bacon wrapped chicken today. We're doing brisket tomorrow. Steelhead salmon on Friday. I mean, wow, what a great week.
It's fun. I still enjoy doing that. I know it's a complicated time we're in, but I still love doing those.
Oh yeah,
It's
and
great.
I forgot my favorite one's Saturday. That's the braised beef and wine. So I get to eat and drink wine. Isn't that perfect?
We got our wine club brunch, chef
yeah.
table brunch this weekend too. So we have a lot of exciting things.
Yep.
going on.
Saturday is our wine club pickup party, and
Been a while.
we're doing brunch cocktails and chefs preparing little brunch items. It's going to be awesome. We have a great turnout, by the way.
I saw that.
Great
That was
turnout.
outstanding.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a while. We missed wine club during shutdown.
That's
and,
true.
It's not that we've intentionally neglected it, but we're excited to kind of bring it back with a little extra.
Yeah, it's going to be
We're
fun.
being a little extra on this one.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, I want to thank everybody for listening to us ramble about these delicious wines. I hope that those of you that are picking these up are enjoying them. If you haven't picked them up, hey, why don't you sometime? Anytime that we have these wines, I'm more than happy to get them at a later date. If you miss these wine tastings, there's always a very strong likelihood that I can get these in the near future. So you can watch this video anytime at your leisure, or not watch this video.
Maybe just be us.
It's probably just us. But we do appreciate.
I make my dogs watch them.
Yeah,
They love it.
right. Yeah.
They like to hear me talk about food.
They do like food.
They miss their Uncle Ed.
I need to get by there. So, hey, thanks again for your support. Keep looking for interesting things that we're doing around. Like every week, we're doing something cool here. So if you're ready to get out, we're here. If you're not, guess what? We're going to keep filming these till you get sick of them, and then we're going to keep doing it.
Absolutely, and as always, we appreciate it. One more piece of shameless self-promotion here. We're so excited and proud of our sister company, United Sewing Automation. The great folks at Fish Hippie have built a sterile room there, FDA approved, where they're making surgical grade masks right here in Mount Airy, North Carolina. Is that not astounding? And they're not just assembled here. The products and the pieces, components rather, that are used to assemble them are also procured right here in the beautiful United States of America. So United Sewing Automation, obviously USA, very proud of this. It's a scary time in the world. And I don't think that the face coverings are going anywhere. We're going to be living with these for quite some
That's
time.
true.
So we can be proud as we are to support the wonderful people right here in our town, in our state, supporting American-made manufacturing. So we're awfully proud of that. And so if you ever need some high quality, made in America and made in Mayberry face coverings. You can get them here at the winery. We always have a great stash. As a matter of fact, they've got some new packaging coming out, little packs of 10. I think we're going to start including those in our family meals.
Cool.
So we'll start adding those in. It'll be
And
a great little thank you. Stay
because,
safe.
because they've been so amazingly popular, they are just pumping them out.
Yeah,
And
ramping up.
they also need help. So anybody who's looking for a job
Yeah.
would be, that's a very good paying job as well.
Well, it's a very rewarding work as
Yeah.
well. It's, you can't lose.
Yeah, that's right. So, all right, well, there's our shameless plug.
Yeah.
And we enjoy everything that we get to do for you guys, whether it's in-house or virtually. We love it. We're going to keep doing it, and thank you all for your support.
Thank you so much. We'll see you soon. On here or in person.